So we're just gonna do a little autofocus test. I want to kind of show you guys how fast it focuses, some of the features on this camera, and yeah, just a basic test. I'm inside, stuck in my house because of quarantine, so I thought this would be a nice test. I did it with the Ricoh, and I had a lot of people ask about the autofocus on the X100V. So let's dive right into it. Got my X100V here. The autofocus settings just on the side here. So you got the AFS, AFC, and then manual focus. It's kind of nice that there's manual controls, a manual switch on the side here. You can adjust yourself which one you want to use. So first thing we're going to talk about is the AFS, and we'll give that a shot here. Okay, let's bring it back to the front here. Okay, how's that? All right, so I set up a little test here on my table. For the purpose of this test, normally I like to use the joystick here to move the cursor around, but sometimes it's actually easier to use the touch screen for this. So on the top right hand here, you can change it to using the touch screen to shoot, like that. You can use it to do the AF, tap to focus. You can see there, it's pretty good. And then there's also the area, tap area. So this just moves the point around. You can see there, but it doesn't focus. This just moves the point around, but doesn't focus. So I'm going to move back to the tap to focus here. There you go. There you go. Focus on there. It's pretty good. See, it's pretty quick. And this here, you can actually, if you go to the back focusing to the front, you can actually hear the focus motor. Let's see if you can hear it. So the focusing motor on this camera is kind of loud. So it's not the greatest if you're shooting video and using AFC. You're gonna catch that sound of the focusing motors, and that's never good. All right, let's switch it over to AFC. Right there. So AFC now. So AFC, pretty simple, autofocus continuous. So if we just have that focus in, it's just gonna automatically adjust the focusing depending on where you have it pointed at. Half press the shutter, or else it won't automatically adjust. See here, that's not in focus. It's not in focus, but if you go half press, then adjust your shot, and then it'll change the focusing. But if you're using the tap to focus, once you tap and it gets focus, it will automatically change the focusing depending on what you're pointing at. So the focusing is ready. You don't need to half press again. So you can see there, AFC works pretty well. That's AFC. Again, it's pretty quick, and under these conditions, the lighting conditions are pretty good. So it's really no problem, I think, for this guy. Okay, that's good. All right, so next thing we're gonna try, we're gonna do a little test with the face detection. So we're just gonna go into the menu here. So the face detection on the FUJI X100V, we have face detect, that's right there. You have eye detect, and then this is really nice. You can prioritize the right eye and then prioritize the left eye, or you can turn off it completely. So we'll go into face detect first. So face detect on, and I'm still on AFC here. Let's just see here. We got a tester in the back. Good friend Chris Nichols. So you can see here, let's see, bring this guy's screen. There's a box that comes up, and you can see it, let's see, kind of tracks him pretty well. So it's tracking him pretty well. That's AFC with the face detect. It's going good, Chris, looking good. And we're gonna change it now to eye detect. So now you can see the box is just right over his eye. It's pretty good. Very accurate there. If you lose it like that, it'll just go back to the regular point there. But then bring it back. It's pretty good. And then, yeah, same thing here. You can change it again. Let's do the right eye. Let's see how good that is. Yeah, that's pretty good. Got his right eye there. It's nice. See if it changes his left eye. Oh, there it is, his left eye. It's kind of struggling a little bit, but it's pretty good. You see the box kind of tracks him pretty well there. Nice. All right, so I think that works pretty well. I usually just use face detect. Unless I'm really going for a close portrait, then I'll switch to eye detect. I feel like face detect kind of gets the job done pretty well here. Chris looking good. All right, Aaf menu here. We have the AF mode. So we got single point, zone, wide tracking, and then all. All just like opens up the entire screen. Something I want to show you guys is the wide tracking. So kind of like the tracking autofocus is actually pretty big nowadays. If you want to focus on one thing and move and reframe your camera, this is what this is for. If I tap onto the plant here inside there, you can see the focus locks on. It's tracking that plant. You can see the green dots kind of moving around here. And this is actually a good example of the sound of the motor on this camera. Okay, let me just bring the mic up to the camera here. Let's show you the sound. But yeah, this is just an example of how the tracking works. It's pretty good. You can it tracks pretty tight, and then once it loses it, you'll just get whatever's closest to you. But like, it's kind of jumpy when the camera's confused or it can't find the focus. It's a little jumpy, but it's not bad. Let's go back to Chris there. And now the face, this is more like face tracking now when you have that face detect on. You can see the green boxes pretty good at tracking Chris there. If we lose it, we're back. You'll just automatically find Chris. Nice. So this setting is good if you want to, if you know you're going to track something on screen and you want to recompose a lot and you want the autofocus kind of to just stick onto something. That's pretty good. For me, I use single point basically all the time, and I use a single point AFS, and I just yeah, I like to just point out on things and just see how it goes there. I think on the AFS on this camera is really good, and it's the mode I use the most. I just like to select my point. All right, so there you have it. Some of the autofocus tests on the FUJI X100V.